Alright, let's not kid ourselves. We all know how Mesa works. All you need is 4 topaz shards and 1 corrosive shard, a heat primer sentinel and or weapon, secondary outburst with a ceramic dagger, a toxin skewed regulator with arcane continuity, a maxed out velocity and avenger, and 500 forma minimum. But as a Mesa main, I can only press the Peacemaker button so many times until I start feeling a longing for something different. Look, after 7,000 hours, anything is bound to get stale, and I enjoy mixing things up with different builds that can push at least a comparable damage output, like using Harsh Reality.
The Sentient is onto you. Look out for troopers. Sentient fighters can adapt to your attacks. Hit them with something else.
The original keyboard cat died in 1987.
Last year I did a YouTube short showcasing my Mesa with a red crit Cedo, which I've sort of gate-kept to myself, similar to Power Strength Loki, but similar to Loki, I've had my fun with it. You can have the scraps. I've subsumed off Mesas 4, and there's nothing that I've said in the past that will piss people off more than saying Valkyrie is shit. This build revolves around her 1 Ballistic Battery. You can buffer up your weapons by doing damage and then tapping it again to make your next shot use that buffered damage. Now, an extra 5,000 damage at base is pretty beefy. It's a decent beat stick for taking out those high priority targets, but when you mix the augment ballistic bullseye and enough power strength to kill a small Victorian child, you start to see the funny here. The Cedo is a spastic disc that loves to jump between targets, and what's great is that it calculates all of that damage in one button press to the entire room. Meanwhile, this bad boy is primed with both damage and crit. When paired with Zada's Whisper, which essentially lets you double dip on damage, even more effectively than Roar in this case, yeah, the room is gone. You don't even need to use the Cedo, as most AoE weapons will be more than willing to take that crit. Hell, mix in some heat inherit secondaries and faction mods for some really funny numbers. Am I telling everyone to go subsume off Mesa's Peacemaker? No, of course not. But variety is the spice of life, and this spice burns.
And happy birthday to Nick if you're watching.